Welcome back to Rubbin'minds. Now, we have inflation at a record high. We have the dollar trading to the naira at about 1617. The pound has crossed over 2,000 naira. We're purchasing petrol for over 1,000 naira across Nigeria, and we've all seen what some of the hard changes have caused in terms of the economy. I mean, popular Grammy-nominated recording and performing artist Davido said that the economy is in shambles, and this was in relation to the upcoming Dirty December, young people coming back to Nigeria. So a lot of Nigerians are seeking greener pastures in more developed climes, and it's become a phenomenon known as Japa. Whether it's through school, through marriage, through employment, people are moving. Nigerians are moving in droves to Canada, to different parts of Europe, to the US. But every once in a while, you come across a story of reverse japa, also known as jakbada, and you begin to wonder, what are they seeing in Nigeria that they're leaving these greener climes to return back to Nigeria? And we have one of such people, a Jakpadian, as you may, Sheyi Ajayi, who's a blogger. Welcome to Rubbin'minds.
Thank you, Isabella.
So Sheyi, it's great to have you, and I'm sure you were once living abroad. Can you tell us where and when did the idea come to return to Nigeria, and what made you actually, take a move and actually buy that ticket and move to Nigeria?
Yeah, so I lived in Toronto, and the idea to really come back came in the pandemic, when a lot of people had the opportunity, because of remote work and stuff like that, to come back home for some time, figure life out and stuff like that. So in 2021 was when I actually first tested it out to see that, okay, is this something that I cannot do? Because as somebody who grew up initially grew up for half of my life in Nigeria, then I moved with my family to Canada. I was like, you know what, let me see, because people were coming here, they were realizing so many gaps and areas of opportunity of things that they could do, and I'm like, you know what, me too, I'm good at problem solving, I'm good at thinking of solutions, and I really am very pro Nigeria, even if Nigeria is Nigeria, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was something that I was just like, why not, right? Let's test it out. I'm in my 20s, this is the time to do that, to explore opportunities, and so yeah.
So the idea came in 2021, and did you immediately pack your bags, not look back, or how did it all come together?
That's exactly what it is. I packed my bags, I not looked back, and I was like, let me go test it out. Let me go for a couple of months and go and see what Nigeria is actually saying.
So you tested it out in 2021?
Yes.
And did you stay till the end, or did you move back, and when did you now finally make that decision?
So I stayed for a few months after 2021 until I went back to Toronto, and then I came back properly this year. So I've actually been in Nigeria since September this year, and I was in this, in the summer in Toronto, I was just I had the option of either staying or coming back, and I don't know, I just felt this pull, I don't know, I want to be here, I want to figure something out, because growing up, seeing the way people's parents were able to change their life by just recognizing different opportunities. I have a family friend where, because they manufactured malaria medicine, their family solved the problem, and they were able to do so much and impact so many other lives and businesses around them as well. And I was like, I want to do the same thing. I want to see where I can add value, and I'm putting myself out there. So if you guys already don't know, obviously she said my name is Sheyi Ajayi, and I've been blogging my experience with renovating my first home in Nigeria, and I'm just putting myself out there to see what possibilities are really out there in Nigeria. Yeah.
What's interesting is you came to test it out in 2021.
Yeah.
When I think of 2021, I think about the price of petrol, I think about cost of transportation, living expensive, cost of food. Your experience in 2021 versus your experience in 2024, what have the differences been? And has that in any way confirmed or maybe made you interrogate your decision to Jakbada, to return to Nigeria for good?
2024's economy is definitely different. It's definitely different. Things are more expensive. Things are harder for a lot of people. Coming back, I was determined to come back with a plan to see okay, if I'm going to choose to come back in T-Pain's economy, as they call it, I need to know like what value I can add so that I'm also making sure that I'm taking care of myself while also exploring other possibilities. So because there's so many opportunities with like remote work and different things that you can do, like really and truly in Nigeria, if you look for where to solve a problem, you really can solve problems and actually also like support yourself doing that. So that's why I came in with a plan, knowing that if I'm going to come here, I'm going to come here with like a plan to support myself so that I'm not feeling because the economy is expensive. Like it's everybody.
And there's no feel like, oh, I wish I was still earning in USD or Canadian dollars.
Yeah.
And when you see the number of people going back to Canada or to the US or to Europe, does it make you question your decision? Like, what are they seeing there? And have I gotten comfortable, or have you gotten what you wanted from abroad that you feel like, okay, for whatever it is, it could be having a second passport, it could be enjoying good education, and you feel like, okay, I've gotten what I want, but now the next level of my life is Nigeria that holds that promise or that potential?
Exactly what you said. I feel like people who are jackpotting, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like abroad, Canada, all those places, like they afford people like somewhere that has like a system. It's systematic and it's predictable, right? So if somebody is looking for that in that period of their life, I think it's fair for them to want to pursue that if like the country that you live in is not giving you that. Because I am in a phase in my life where, like I said before, I'm young, I'm quite adaptable, I'm quite resilient. I'm just testing out what can possibly be done. I have the opportunity and I have the privilege to come back to explore that idea, and I think that it's definitely worth exploring because why not, right?
Why not?
Yeah.
and let's talk about the social aspect. You know, there are videos online, you see people who have gone abroad and they're now coming to terms with the harsh realities of whether it's the weather, cost of living, or even the fact that people live far from each other and it can get really lonely and cold.
Yeah.
How has that been in Nigeria, considering that you've lived in Nigeria many years ago and you're now returning? Do you have family, support system? Have people been welcoming? Has it been easy to find work, to make friends, get into a relationship maybe?
There's so many things packed in that one question. I would definitely say that like family and support is unmatched in Nigeria. Like even people that are not necessarily like your direct relatives or something, like you always have community, you always have support, people that are willing to just like help you and be there for you. That's one of the things that really like struck out to me when I first like tested it out in 2021, was just like how much people were so willing to help you out, like whether you knew them. Like it really was one of those things that really like meant a lot to me. So yeah, family, community support, so unmatched in Nigeria. In terms of dating,
like how are the guys here compared to the guys abroad? I mean, you know, Dirty December is coming, and you know, a lot of IJGBs that I just got back.
Yeah.
People will be coming from the diaspora to have a great time.
Yeah.
You know, so if you compare maybe the social scene, the dating scene in Canada as a young female to Nigeria, which do you prefer?
Definitely Nigeria. Like I think that dating as a young woman in like Canada is quite tough and quite challenging because obviously the standards of beauty there is different. I'm obviously a visibly like dark-skinned woman as well, and men they're not very like, you know, in Nigeria if you step into somewhere, before you enter, somebody's telling you, okay, fine, lady, you're already exactly, they're toasting, they're complimenting you. So it feels nice to be acknowledged in that way. It feels nice to like feel beautiful in like your own skin and like know that people around you are appreciating that. And men here are very like, I like the way dating is, you know, approached here. It doesn't mean that there are not many problems with it, with the way men act in this country.
But what about opportunities? Because you talk about problem solving. Are there particular opportunities you've seen that, oh, this has the potential, like you said, you could identify a problem and become a millionaire from it, whether it's selling malaria medicine or distributing a product. So what are some of the opportunities that are here for others who might be considering to jackpot out, to return back to Nigeria for good?
Yeah, I think that like honestly, like anything that involves trust building. So I'm excited to like venture into something that requires like trust building. So like I said before, like in my current experience renovating my first home in Lagos, like 2 days towards like my first moving date, our Tyler went missing, right? Very quintessential like Nigerian experience that everybody goes through. So like I'm excited to explore what like it looks like to build more trust in Nigeria. Like we need more trust in this country. Like just trust, because we have different things that are set up right now, and the infrastructure is getting better. But I think that trust is definitely one thing that will take us from like where we are to like somewhere even better, for sure.
And what has surprised you the most about Nigeria since moving back? Good, bad, ugly, everything.
What has surprised me the most? That's a really good question. I would honestly say the level of support. I really mean it. Like, there was one time where Google Maps took me through some random road where I actually got stuck in like a ditch, and I was like actually scared, because I'm like, I don't know these people around here. Is somebody going to come and, I don't know, like, you know, get at me or something? But like people literally went in their Sunday's outfit to take my car out of a ditch that was in a pothole in water, just to make sure that I was okay, and I came out. And I've had that experience like in different like regards, where like people are consistently like so willing to help and support you. So yeah, that's the one thing that surprised me, because I feel like the narrative of like Nigeria is very negative, and it's like, yes, that exists, but there are other truths that exist as well. So yeah.
And as someone who has lived abroad, what are things that can be done in Nigeria for quick wins, that, you know, we have more people returning because those things they seek abroad are now here in Nigeria? And that would be my final question.
Can you repeat that?
So, as someone who has lived abroad, there are certain things that are there that make people want to go there. So what can be done to make this place the green pastures that more people will want to return? So that expertise you've gotten abroad, how can that translate into making this the jackpot destination?
I honestly think that very simple things are just like solving everyday inconveniences, even something like light, like water, like those little things that make such a world of a difference are places where people can actually plug themselves into and solve. But the issue goes deeper than what it really just seems like at the top. But yeah, little everyday, anything that you can do to solve little everyday inconveniences is what definitely will make more people want to come back, and just like setting up like more infrastructure so that it's easier to get things done, right? Like every government has its own thing, right? Like Service Ontario, for example, is a government that I had in Canada, and people still complain about Service Ontario. When you go to Service Ontario and want to do something, you still have to come back again. And it's a very similar experience in Nigeria. When you want to go to the government and do something, you still have to come back again. So every government like faces that. It's just more so like how quickly you're able to progress and get towards where you want to go. So I think that can definitely like make a world of a difference.
Thank you so much, Seyi Ajayi, and all the best with your blogging and your Japadarian experience.
Yes.
Thank you for being our guest on Rubbin'minds.
Thank you so much for having me.